The other award shows are done, and all that's left is the Oscars. So who's going to win big this weekend? Let's find out. Hey everyone, John Lunsford from the Pop Culture Life, and another couple of award shows finished this past weekend, and now we turn our sights to the 97th Academy Awards this Sunday, which are, of course, the biggest awards you can win in film. As we look ahead, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, the previous award shows can give us a good indicator of where things are going. Typically, when one person or film runs away with the other awards, they win the Oscar too. However, that's not always the case, so we do have to look at the Vegas odds because you can actually bet on this. You can bet on nearly anything these days, and the Oscars are no different. But odds makers are no fools and typically have a good handle on things before they publish odds you can bet on. However, they don't bat 1,000 either, so I'm going to try to look at a couple of underdogs that I could see potentially pulling off wins too. So as we look ahead, I'll go over all the major awards that have been handed out for the main categories and discuss the current Vegas odds as of recording this, which is early Monday, February 24th. The major awards we're going to use to determine things are these: the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice, the various Guild Awards, so that's the Directors Guild, Producers Guild, Writers Guild, and then Screen Actors Guild, which we got last night, and the BAFTAs. I'm also going to talk about the Independent Spirit Awards because they happened this past weekend too, and it's kind of a good indicator about how people feel about the movies that qualify for those awards. In order to qualify for the Independent Spirit Awards, you have to have a production budget under $30 million, and a handful of movies that are nominated for various awards didn't fit that. Movies like A Complete Unknown, Emilia Perez, Dune Part 2, Wicked, and Conclave. So I've left those awards off my charts because there's a lot of nominees that won't qualify, but it is worth taking note of. So first up, the supporting categories are absolute locks. For supporting actor, Kieran Culkin has won everything and should win the Oscar as well, sitting now at minus 3,500. He was minus 2,000 before the SAG Awards, and when he won last night, that just put him as an even bigger favorite. Ed Norton and Yura Borisov have been nominated for all the other major awards, but nobody can touch Kieran Culkin in this one. For supporting actress, Zoe Saldana has done the same thing. She went from minus 1,400 to minus 2,500 after the SAG Awards. There really aren't any dark horses here to come and take the award, except for maybe Ariana Grande, who for a quick second was the favorite when Wicked first came out. She's at plus 800, and that dropped from plus 600, so you'd get a decent return if you did hit on that, but it's probably not worth betting on. Despite the fact that Emilia Perez has had some bad press, none of it's really directed in Zoe Saldana's way, and she should still definitely win. Now on to Best Actor. Coming into last night, Adrien Brody had won all of the major awards and sat at minus 280. However, Timothée Chalamet's odds actually stayed pretty good in second the whole way. Then last night, we saw an upset as Timothée Chalamet won the Screen Actors Guild Award. However, the odds really haven't shifted much. Timothée Chalamet moved from plus 175 to plus 150, and Adrien Brody went from minus 280 to minus 230. I thought there was an outside chance anyway that Timothée Chalamet could win, but now I definitely think there's a chance Timothée Chalamet could pull something off, and maybe the negative publicity around The Brutalist potentially hurt Adrien Brody. Plus, Adrien Brody already has an Oscar, and a lot of people are eagerly awaiting Timothée Chalamet's first win, as he's one of the top actors in Hollywood right now. Ralph Fiennes was seen as a potential contender for a while, but he's dropped from 1,200 to plus 1,600. Coleman Domingo, Sebastian Stan really don't have a shot at plus 3,500. However, you'll notice a little asterisk next to Sebastian Stan for the Golden Globes. While Adrien Brody won for the drama category, Sebastian Stan actually won for the comedy category for A Different Man. So it's a different movie, but he did win at least one big award this award season. It's also worth noting Adrien Brody wasn't even nominated for the Independent Spirit Awards, although the movie did qualify, as Brady Corbet was nominated for Best Director. For Best Actress, this has been one of the closer races. Demi Moore started things off with a Golden Globes win, and I think that was maybe a surprise to some at the time. Mikey Madison had been hovering near the top of a lot of predictions for a while, but The Substance had a huge momentum shift starting at the Globes, and it led to Demi Moore winning there and at the Critics' Choice Awards. Then again, last night at the SAG Awards, Mikey Madison, however, won the BAFTA and also beat Demi Moore at the Independent Spirit Awards. You'll also notice Fernanda Torres won the Golden Globe as well. She was in the drama category, and the other four were all in the comedy or music category because The Substance and Honora, I guess, are considered comedies, and Wicked and Emilia Perez are both musicals. So I don't know that she has a chance, but she has already won something this award season. However, you'll see she wasn't even nominated in the other awards. So this will be interesting to see between Demi Moore and Mikey Madison. For Best Director, this has been a back-and-forth battle between Brady Corbet and Sean Baker, with Sean Baker actually having all the momentum right now. It's still a close race when it comes to the odds, so you can get a good bet on either one, but after winning the Golden Globe and the BAFTA, Brady Corbet then lost the Directors Guild Award and the Independent Spirit Award to Sean Baker. You'll notice that the Critics' Choice Award, actually, the award went to John M. Chu, who directed Wicked, but he wasn't even nominated for an Oscar. One fun fact, only twice since 2003 has the Directors Guild winner not gone on to win the Oscar. In 2019, Sam Mendes was nominated for 1917 but didn't win. He lost to Bong Joon-ho and Parasite that year. And then in 2012, Ben Affleck won but wasn't even nominated for Best Director for Argo, which did win Best Picture. Ang Lee won Best Director that year for Life of Pi. Sean Baker won the Directors Guild Award this year, so we'll see. Then Best Original Screenplay. This was supposed to be the category that Sean Baker was going to win to finally get his Oscar when Brady Corbet was the favorite for Best Director. Now, Sean Baker is the favorite in both categories, but interestingly enough, his odds actually dropped from minus 500 to minus 250 for this one, while The Substance went from plus 500 to plus 300. A bit of a shift and maybe a little bit of an upset brewing. The Golden Globes actually did a combined category that went to Conclave. We'll get to that in a second, but Anora didn't win until the Writers Guild Awards. The Substance won the Critics' Choice Awards, and Jesse Eisenberg actually won for A Real Pain at both the BAFTAs and the Independent Spirit Awards too, where Anora wasn't even nominated, even though it was eligible and won the most awards at the award show, winning Best Feature, Best Director, and Best Lead Performance. A Real Pain actually shifted from plus 800 to plus 500 in this category. So it's still very much in Anora's favor, but it's interesting to see how the odds have gotten closer here instead of spreading further away like most categories. For Best Adapted Screenplay, Conclave has won a majority of the awards, including the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, and the BAFTAs, although Nickel Boys did win the Writers Guild Award. Oddly enough, the Writers Guild actually didn't nominate a lot of the screenplays that are up at the Oscars. For Original Screenplay, you had Challengers, Civil War, and My Old Ass all nominated over The Substance, The Brutalist, and September 5th. And for Adapted Screenplay, Conclave, the favorite at the Oscars that has won everything else, wasn't even nominated, nor was Emilia Perez or Sing Sing, but Dune, Wicked, and of all things, Hitman, the Netflix movie with Glenn Powell, were nominated. The odds shifted a tiny bit this weekend as Conclave went down a little bit from minus 1,100 to minus 1,000, but they're still a huge favorite, while Nickel Boys, the only other winner from this list, went from plus 1,000 to plus 750. That seems like a lure to get people to bet on them since they have won an award, and I still fully believe that Conclave wins this one. A category to keep an eye on is Best Animated Film. The Wild Robot is the favorite, but had a big shift in its favor after this weekend, going from minus 230 to minus 340. But it's actually seen a split this award season between it and Flow. Flow went from plus 160 to plus 225, but it won the Golden Globe while The Wild Robot won the Critics' Choice Award. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, actually won at the BAFTAs, which isn't totally surprising because it's a British film. But the interesting award for this category was the Annie Awards. The Annie Awards are the biggest animation-focused awards each year, and they actually give out an award for both Best Animated Feature and Best Independent Animated Feature. The difference is that the Independent Award is for movies that did not get a wide release in America. So while Flow and Memoir of a Snail did hit theaters, it wasn't a full wide run since they're both technically foreign films. Flow, even though there's no talking in it, is Latvian, and Memoir of a Snail is Australian. So the awards that focus on animation didn't help decide this race because the two top contenders were in their own categories. However, this weekend did shift more in favor of The Wild Robot, so we'll see. Now on to the biggest award, Best Picture. Only one time has anyone won the Directors Guild, Producers Guild, Writers Guild, and Critics' Choice Award and not won Best Picture. That was Brokeback Mountain from the year 2005 when Crash won over it, despite Ang Lee also winning Best Director for Brokeback Mountain. This year, Anora has won all four of those awards and is currently the favorite at minus 200. However, that's a shift down from minus 330, which is where it was Saturday. As you can see, it lost at the Golden Globes to Emilia Perez in the comedy or musical category, while The Brutalist won in the drama category. At the BAFTAs, Conclave was the winner, but last night, it pulled off another win at the SAG Awards, which is actually an award for Best Cast more so than Best Picture. But with that win, Conclave went from plus 700 in third to plus 225 and is now second ahead of The Brutalist. It seems like it's Anora's to lose still, but Conclave now has a real shot to win. The Brutalist dropped from plus 400 to plus 600 and is losing all of its momentum. A Complete Unknown was fourth, but dropped down to plus 4,000, so it's definitely only a three-picture race right now. However, it legitimately could be any of those top three. It'll be interesting to see what happens and how the odds shift over the course of the week, but Anora is still favored here. What's interesting also in this category is you'll notice I'm Still Here didn't get nominated for Best Picture or the equivalent category for any major awards. And even in looking at a bunch of the smaller awards, I never saw it nominated for any of those either. It's gotten plenty of Best Foreign Film nomination, but has always lost, mostly to Emilia Perez. However, right now, thanks to the bad publicity for Emilia Perez and the U.S. launch of I'm Still Here, the leader for Best International Film has become I'm Still Here at -140, while Emilia Perez is at +110. I do think it got a bit of a bump to not only get nominated for Best Picture, but also a lot of love for Best International Film from three factors. First, Fernanda Torres winning at the Golden Globe. Although all of her fellow Oscar nominees were in the musical and comedy category, she did win that award. That definitely helped with awareness of the movie, since those awards took place well before Oscar nomination voting ended. Second, it also got some help, I think, from the film hitting American theaters right as initial nomination voting was closing. There's just a teensy bit of overlap there with word of mouth and advertising for its release in New York and LA as the voting closed around the same time. Since then, it's expanded around the country, and Emilia Perez is dropping in a lot of people's minds with a lot of bad publicity from its main star and from some AI allegations as well. So I'm Still Here does have a very good chance to win Best International Feature. So in summary, here are the odds for the Oscars this weekend. On the left are the favorites, and on the right are the underdogs that are either next in line or I could see pull off an upset. There isn't much I feel really good about when it comes to upsets, other than A, Mikey Madison has come on strong lately, but is still technically an underdog, and B, Flo is fighting with the Wild Robot for Best Animated Film and has a chance to pull off a win. But keep an eye on Conclave for Best Picture. If you're looking for some more bets to make, you can bet on Sean Baker or Brady Corbet if you think he can bring it back and win and get good odds on either. You can also bet on I'm Still Here for Best International Feature Film, since they're now in front at -140, but Emilia Perez still there at +110, and I'm not sure what people are thinking on that with all the bad press, so you could bet on either one of those and get some decent odds. So that's where things stand as we head into the final week before the Oscars. How will the odds shift, and what are we going to learn before then? We don't really know, but it should be a great award show with Conan O'Brien as the host. I can't wait to watch and see who walks away with the biggest awards in film. Who do you think will win in the major categories? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more awards buzz, rankings, reviews, and more.